Looking for the best in authentic Maltese cuisine? Then you need to dine at Georgies on Vista. Situated in the heart of Fraser Rise, you can't go wrong when it comes to family dining. We have a menu for mum and dad, one for the kids, and one for seniors. Everyone's taken care of. Don't miss our specialty nights. Tuesday night is Parma night, where you get to choose from not one, but 5 different Parmas. Wednesday night, kids eat free with every paying adult meal. Thursday night is Members Night, where members get the chance to win some great prizes. And Friday night, join us for happy hour between 5:30pm to 7:30pm. Jim, Johnny, Jack and their little brother Schooner are only $5 each. Looking to get an early start Friday afternoon for a punt? Our sports bar with TAB is open from 3pm Friday afternoons. To book your table, email info@georgiesonvista.com.au. Bring the family and come dine at Georgies on Vista, 46 City Vista Court, Fraser Rise, Plumpton.
Under new management, the Sunbury Elite Indoor Sports Centre is proud to provide the wider Sunbury community with a whole new fresh look and feel. Covering all forms of indoor sports from indoor soccer, cricket, netball, yoga, Pilates, darts, golf, and especially our all-new Sunbury Futsal League, the Sunbury Elite Indoor Sports Centre has something for every sports enthusiast. Young budding footballers who are looking to improve their skills come in and register or trial with Sunbury City Futsal Club, coached by the highly accredited George Dibb. Be a part of one of the fastest growing sports in Australia and become a part of the new futsal pathway by representing Sunbury City Futsal Club at the upcoming Football Victoria Futsal League state titles in April. For a full overview of all that Sunbury Elite Indoor Sports Centre has to offer, please visit our website www.sunburyindoorsports.com.au, like our Facebook page or call us on 0448 445 406. Welcome to episode 50 of the Football Out West show. We are in party mode. It is going to be a night of nights, as they say. Good evening, my name is Tonchi Prusak. I'm one half of the dynamic duo, as we'd like to consider ourselves. And over to my right, to your left, is none other than the man, the legend, Mr. Craig Filer. Craig, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Tonch. Good evening, listeners. Hope everybody's well. And how nice is it to get out? Freedom. Oh. Thank you, Dan Andrews. I take back everything I said over the last 72 weeks.
Absolutely. It is an absolute pleasure to tonight be coming from Georgies on Vista, and in the background we've got the main pitch of the George Cross Football Club here in Fraser Rise. In Caroline Springs. It's our 50th episode, and a very, very special shout out to all Caroline Springs George Cross members, supporters, players who are tuning in, but also to all of our regular viewers, listeners, right across the western region of Victoria, and indeed we go internationally sometimes, Craig, don't we?
Absolutely. I'm sure there'll be a few people listening from further ashore tonight. So looking forward to it, Tonch. It should be a really good show.
Now, mate, I'm sick of hearing it, but it is so true that it was all just going to be a little bit of fun and games a long, long time ago when we started on FNR, Football Nation Radio, who were absolute fantastic in those early couple of years. But, mate, it's now grown to 50 shows and going stronger and stronger, and this is going to be an tonight is a little bit of a groundbreaking, I suppose, achievement in itself as well, doing the outside broadcasting, which we hope for it to become a lot more common. But mate, it is a groundbreaking moment for us.
Yeah, it is, and it's a great way to I suppose celebrate our 50th birthday, Tonch, because we've always said we wanted to do things differently. We wanted to try and be a little bit more professional in what we do. And I think this sums everything that we've tried to do up. Our first outside broadcast. And hopefully there'll be plenty more to come after this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Big cheerio once again to our major sponsor for 2021, the George Cross Football Club, and indeed our episode sponsor for tonight, Sunbury Elite Indoor Sports. Paul de Blasi there, who was a guest on our program 2 weeks ago. Just tell him that the Football Out West show sent you, and he'll look after you. Big shout out to Paul and to the George Cross Football Club, who are here. Now, throughout the night, Craig, we're going to be joined by some illustrious guests who are all from the George Cross Football Club. Cannot wait to talk to them. Who are some of the guests that are going to be joining us right here tonight? Yeah,
so we have none other than Jose Mourinho himself, Mr. Eric Vassiliadis, who will be on just after 6:30 and joining us. We believe will be the club captain, but we'll keep that under wraps just for the moment. We then have.
Are we announcing it tonight?
I'm not sure whether it is, but I was told last. Let's move on. And we then have the new sponsorship and marketing manager, Mr. Simon Paris, who's going to come on and have a chat with us about his new role. And of course we've got El Capitano, Mr. Mark Sultana, who's going to come on and talk nonsense for 15-20 minutes on everything George Cross and what's going on. It's going to be a fun night. So
he's the man that normally leads from the front, but tonight he's actually not going to be the last. He's going to be the last, but certainly not the least guest. He'll be coming on a little later on to really wrap it up. We will also have, hopefully, fingers crossed, a live crossover to Green Gully Reserve as well. And we will be also being joined by our co-host from last week, Steve Curtin. Steve's a wonderful member of our panel. Some big things happening over at Green Gully Reserve, the other Maltese club as well. There's an Optus special that's being filmed. Steve's going to tell us a lot more, but mate,
that's tonight, isn't it? The Optus special's going to be done tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, perfect.
But everything leads to George Cross Football Club here at Georgies on Vista, because tonight we've got a great show for you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away. As soon as we come back after this short break, we're going to have the news desk, so stay with us.
Under new management, the Sunbury Elite Indoor Sports Centre is proud to provide the wider Sunbury community with a whole new fresh look and feel. Covering all forms of indoor sports from indoor soccer, cricket, netball, yoga, Pilates, darts, golf, and especially our all-new Sunbury Futsal League, the Sunbury Elite Indoor Sports Centre has something for every sports enthusiast. Young budding footballers, 406.
Give them a plug.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Football Out West show. It's episode 50 and it's now time for the news desk. Now, it is a festive occasion tonight. We are celebrating. It's lots of positivity, but unfortunately, Craig, we do have to start on a little bit of a somber note. During the week, we lost one of our greatest, the local game, that is.
Yeah, we have, Tonch, and just on behalf of, I suppose, the whole football community, we'd like to extend the sincerest condolences to the family of Jim Williams following his passing earlier this morning after a battle with illness. A distinguished and popular individual, Jim's involvement with Victorian football stretches back many decades. He was best known for his long association with Eastern Lions, whom he guided to numerous promotions, culminating in the memorable promotion to the MPL in 2019. That campaign would be Jim's last, and fittingly he was crowned the MPL 2 Coach of the Year for his remarkable achievement of guiding a youthful team on a modest budget to the top flight. A loving family man, Jim will be remembered fondly by all those who crossed paths with him over the years. Always generous with his time, his presence will be sorely missed across football Victoria grounds in the years to come, but his legacy will live on in the hundreds of players he's coached and influenced over the years. Rest in peace, Jim Williams.
Well done, Craig. Fantastic little bit of an obituary there, I guess, a write-up. Let's move on to positive stuff, and indeed it was positive last week. We had the opening round of the NPL Victoria competition tonight. Round 2 kicks off. But let's go very, very quickly for those who may have just come down in the last shower.
Yeah.
What were the scores of round 1 matches last week?
Yeah, so we'll start off, I suppose, with Port Melbourne, who were playing Melbourne Knights at home, and unfortunately they lost 1-0 to a Jana Banu goal in the 17th minute. Knights had central defender Nikola Jurkovic sent off for straight red in the 22nd minute for what looked like a pretty innocuous challenge, if I'm honest, Tonch. But the referee seemed it was a red card and gave him a straight red in the 22nd minute, but they held on to claim the win, 1-0. But I have heard that the referee has since come out and said he's made a mistake, and instead of it being a 3-match ban for Nicola, it's going to be a 1-match ban, so he'll only miss tomorrow's game, which is great news.
But Craig, the biggest thing to come out of that round 1 fixture, the season opening fixture, wasn't what was happening on the field. It was the commentators' offer. We had a star-studded lineup that actually joined our program last week. Mr. Married at First Sight, Bryce Ruthven, and we also had Ed Gooden, good old Ed from the Football Nation Radio. So it was good to see those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
A little bit of star
He's
power
obviously
on and off the
better
field.
on commentating than he is on a reality show, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, while we're on that, I mean, we're jumping from one thing to the other, but a lot of exciting things happening in the NPL Victoria. Now, tonight, the Dandenong City St Albans game, so obviously a game that is involving one of the Western Suburbs clubs. For the first time ever, they're going to have one of the coaches mic'd up. Now, Michael Zapponi and Gary Cole, good old Gaz, ex-Socceroo legend, they'll be calling the game at 8:30 tonight. But that is one of the many innovations they are looking at doing this year.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Sasha
Ognanovsky.
That's the one. Yeah, he's going to be mic'd up, so be very interested to see how his body language or even his language comes over this evening. But great for football. It's a new way of doing things, and I think it's a breath of fresh air.
Hopefully, if he does drop the 4-letter word, it will be Macedonian, not in English. So at least I'm not sure if it's the equivalent is 4 letters in Macedonian. Maybe someone can tell us in the comments section. But look, it's going to be really, really exciting. Let's go through very whiz-bang, let's go through the rest of the results, Craig.
Yeah, let's go through. So Eastern Lions unfortunately lost at home 3-1 to Bentley Greens. Aaron Fabris in the 80th minute for Eastern Lions, but Will Bower in the very first minute, Damien Iaconic in the 15th, and Braden Crawley in the 32nd for Bentley Greens. Hume City and Altona Magic played out a scoreless draw. Heidelberg lost 1-0 to South Morang, Harry Sawyer scoring in the 51st minute. And Dandenong Thunder drew 1-1 with Dandy City. Avondale came back to win 2-1 over Oakley Cannons. Joe Guest getting the opener after 54 minutes. A red card to Thomas Matthews on 49 for Oakley Cannons, and Oscar Dillon with an own goal after 86. And Stefan Valentini with a winner on 89th minute gave Avondale a 2-1 win. And finally on Sunday, a game which our co-host Steve Curtin commentated. It was St Albans 0, Green Gully 2. T-Boy Kamara on the 11th minute and Daniel Jones in the 83rd minute with the scorers for Green Gully.
Okay, let's turn our attention to this weekend. There's a massive blockbuster, I think it's 5 games if I'm not mistaken, happening tonight. Let's go through some of those games that are being played tonight. Well, the first one, which is going to happen in just over an hour's time, the Melbourne Knights at home to Dandenong Thunder. That should be a really interesting one. Another big one happening out at Lakeside Stadium, South Melbourne taking on Eastern Lions. Very quickly, Craig, let's go through some of those games and your tips. Knights versus Dandenong Thunder down at Knights Stadium.
Yeah, it'd be a good game, that one. You got me now, Tonch. 2-0 Knights.
Oh, nice. South Melbourne versus Eastern Lions at Lakeside Stadium at the same time.
Yeah, look, Eastern Lions off the back of a 3-1 home defeat last week. I'm absolutely sure they'll be playing for Jimmy Williams tonight. Will South Melbourne. I'm gonna go a 2-1 win for Eastern Lions there, Tonch.
Nice work, Rayman. Thank you. Rayman corrects me. He goes 6 games on Super Friday football tonight. That is Friday night football at its absolute best. Green Gully, as we mentioned, taking on Hume City at Green Gully Reserve. Now that game's at 8 p.m. tonight.
1-1.
1-1. Bentley Greens hosting the Port Melbourne Sharks in the big Greek derby, 8:15 at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex.
Yeah, I think Bentley Greens got off to a flyer last week, 3-1 winners. Port Melbourne lost 1-0 to Melbourne Knights, 2-0 to Bentley Greens.
Well, there you go. Dandenong City taking on St Albans Saints, the Croatian derby. A lot of derbies happening tonight. That's over at the Frank Holohan Soccer Complex. We mentioned that one. That's the big one where Dandenong coach Sasha Ognanovsky will be mic'd up for the cameras. That'll be interesting. No doubt a ratings bonanza.
Yeah, there'll be a good crowd down there for that game, I think. Look, I've seen a bit of St Albans Saints this year. They've lost a lot of players. I think they are going to struggle. Dandenong City 3-0.
Okay, yeah, we did have Jason Zeri, the football operations manager, on last week, and he did say that they are expected to struggle. It's going to be a fight for survival, and
it's a real shame for them because the season it all got postponed once they were flying, and it's really unfair on teams. But I suppose
we talk about the COVID effect. They're certainly one of the clubs that are really going to be affected. Yeah. Look, another derby, a Greek derby, the Oakley Cannons hosting Heidelberg United at Jack Edwards Reserve. That's the final game for tonight. That's at 8:30 p.m. kickoff. Thoughts?
Ooh, it's a tough one, that one. Yeah, Heidelberg lost last week, so they'll want to jump back on the get in the winner's circle. But I think Oakley Cannons at home, 2-0 to Oakley Cannons.
And last but not least, on Saturday, tomorrow afternoon at Paisley Park in Altona Magic, taking on Avondale. This is the A derby. Avondale, Altona Gate, get it?
Yeah, brilliant. What will we be for that one, Tonch? I think Altona Magic spent a lot of money, big things expected on this year, I think, in the league. Avondale won last week. 1-1.
Yeah, interesting.
1-1 draw.
Hey, let's see if those tips come through. We've got a few other... if you want to put your tips as well, by all means, in the comments section, we'd love to hear what you guys think. Now, Ffa Cup, moving along, it's already round 2 action. So we've had the qualifying round, we've had round 1, now we've got round 2. We're going to pop that up on screen, some of those games. I guess the big ones there... Lara United taking on Sebastopol Vikings. That's a Western region clash. Surf Coast, they'll be making their debut against Rowville Eagles.
There's actually quite a few. Western is Point Cook are playing St Kevin's All Boys.
Yes, yep.
You've got Altona travelling to Elwood City. Altona North, travelling to Elwood City.
Host our own West Side Strikers, Caroline Springs. Yes, they'll be in action. So too will Golden Plains up against Upfield, the Bannockburn side having to travel quite a fair bit.
Yeah.
Any other
Keilor Wolves, South Yarra, Maidstone against Gisborne, Ashburton against Western Eagles, Bell Park against Monash University, Glen Waverley against Laverton, Craigieburn against Westside Strikers, Golden Plains versus Upfield, Surf Coast Rowville, Lara versus Sebastopol, Elwood City versus Altona North, and Point Cook versus St Kevin's All Boys. And one more, which is Moama Echuca Border Raiders. Whoa. Surely they could have got a better name than that. Surely. They have a home game tomorrow afternoon against Williamstown, kick-off 12 p.m.
Wow. I reckon that is probably a merger of about 2 or 3 different clubs.
You reckon?
I might be wrong. I'm always wrong usually.
Good luck to everybody in the round 2 of the FFA Cup, and of course the big one is on Tuesday. The draw is for round 3 of the FFA Cup on Tuesday, not Monday as it normally is because of the bank holiday.
Yep.
And all the big teams come in, so you get all the MPL clubs coming in that round. So there'll be a few people around the computer screens on Tuesday.
I reiterate everything that Craig said. Good luck to all the clubs from the western suburbs. We're very parochial here on the Football Out West show. Best of luck to them. Now moving along to the ladies. Just yesterday, the draw was done at Football Victoria headquarters for the Nike FC Cup qualifying rounds. We'll also have that up on screen shortly as well. Altona East Phoenix hosting Mitchell Rangers. The Brimbank Stallions are away to Endeavour Hills. We've got George Cross as well. They'll be away to the Southeast United. And we've also got Melton Phoenix taking on Ballarat. Any other games there as well, Craig?
Yeah, you've got Deakin University against South Springvale. We've got our very own North Geelong Warriors, Tonch, playing their home game down at Elko Park against Hampton East Brighton.
Yep.
And another Geelong side in Geelong Rangers taking on Gisborne. So
I think it's a record number of Geelong clubs entering from the community phase, I guess, or the community level. Although North Geelong are making a return to the state leagues this year, so the North Geelong women, and a big shout out to Ivan Herzeg, their coach, who will be looking after their transition back into the state league competitions. Mate, let's go on to there's so much football happening this long weekend. Let's quickly turn our attention to the NPL Junior Boys. The round 6 fixtures will be played tomorrow, and then we've got round 7 being played on Sunday. So a double header. Let's quickly go through the Western Division of the NPL Boys.
Yeah, so it's a big weekend. I think I was speaking to Josip Skoko yesterday, Tonch, and I think there's 2 double head rounds before the end of this month, which is it's bonkers, and you're trying to get the best out of all the players. And
before we move on to the fixtures, Craig, you're a coach of an NPL side.
Yep.
Is that too much pressure for the kids, or is that exactly what we want? We want a lot of games. We want the kids to be really exposed to a lot of match play. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, look, because of the way that the structure is done, where you've got to play you've got to play everybody once to gauge where you are and what league you're going to be in. I think it's the only way really that they can do it.
Yep.
But having said that, as I did last year, we had 2 of the top 4 teams, one after the other on a Saturday and a Sunday, and it's tough for the young players. You've got 14-year-olds playing on a full-size pitch, playing 2 games of football. So, but look, I suppose the negative people will come on and say, well, they're out there playing football, let them get on with it. But it is a lot of football to be played.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's where the coach's role is very important, in that the depth of the squad really then needs to be utilised.
Absolutely.
You can't now keep on playing your best 11 each time. This is that opportunity, and we talk about the developmental element of the NPL. This is the perfect situation where some of those fringe players should be able to get an opportunity.
The reality is at junior football, Tonch, and I'll just touch you up on what you just said then about playing your best side. NPL football is about playing your squad of 16 players and giving them an equal time on the pitch to develop. I go nuts when I see coaches playing the same starting lineup, because that's your best starting lineup.
Yeah.
This is about development football. It's about giving youngsters the opportunity to develop. How are they going to develop if they're not playing regularly on the football pitch? So it's a really important one for me, that one, and I think there's a lot of good clubs around there that do the right things, but they need to be on the field playing, mate.
Big shout out to Sportscast, who are doing a brilliant job bringing this all together. Look at that close up of Craig. Oh goodness me, it's
awful.
It's awful. Okay, we just had very briefly we had the round 6 fixtures up there, so we'll pop those fixtures up again, and then the round 7 fixtures. Very quickly we'll go through the round 6. Avondale at home to North Geelong Warriors. Then over at Werribee, it's Werribee City and Green Gully. Ballarat City hosting Altona Magic. Brimbank Stallions at home to Geelong Soccer Club. Melbourne Knights at home to Caroline Springs George Cross. And then Bendigo City are at home to St Albans Saints. And on Sunday, Craig, round 7.
Yeah, we have Ballarat hosting Avondale Football Club. We got Geelong Soccer Club hosting Werribee City. Bendigo City and Caroline Springs. Green Gully and Melbourne Knights. Magic hosting Brimbank Stallions. And finally, North Geelong Warriors hosting St Albans in what is a festa day down at Alco Park, so a bit of a celebration, and it's a great game. Should be a lot of fun down there this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And whilst we're at it, the North Geelong Warriors hosting their annual Labour Day festa, and at 3 o'clock I'm led to believe North Geelong Warriors women will be playing the St Albans Saints women, also in a full-scale practice match. Speaking of the girls, it's also NPL girls round 2 action this week, the juniors. We've got some of the fixtures. We'll pop that up on screen as well. The Box Hill United are at home to South Melbourne. Most relevant to us here in the West, Bayside United are at home to Calder United. Bulleen Lions take on Alamein FC. Geelong Galaxy, who have got a team in the juniors section, but not in the seniors of the NPL, they will be home to Heidelberg United, and finally Southern United do have the bye. And we've got those fixtures up there on screen at the moment. That rounds up a massive 3 days of football over the next weekend, over this coming weekend, starting from tonight. I can't wait. It's going to be absolutely electrifying.
Yeah,
Craig.
should be a good weekend of football for everybody. Football's back, well and truly.
I think we've. Is there any other news happening? I know there's been quite a fair bit of. We haven't really talked much about the A-League.
No, we'll have a good show on the A-League next week, because we've been a little bit lax on talking about the A-League. So with some big fixtures this weekend as well, we'll have a bit of a session on that in the news next Friday. Yeah,
Western United. If you are out Ballarat way on Sunday, the Western United will be coming up. I think it's the Brisbane Roar? I think it was. I may stand corrected now. They're coming up on. It's Western Sydney Wanderers. And that's at Mars Stadium or the old Eureka Stadium. So if you are in the Ballarat area or feel like having a day out in Ballarat, beautiful part of the state and indeed the country, pop over to the big A-League clash there. Western United have been providing some unbelievable entertainment in recent games. So that is certainly.
What about that game last week, Dodge?
What's that?
What about that game last week?
What a thrills a minute game that was against Melbourne Victory.
Unbelievable.
It was incredible. So that's the A-League. As Craig said, we will certainly focus a little bit on the A-League in if not next week, the week after. But there is so much happening in football, and it is great. It is absolutely great to be able to talk about all of these games happening. Newsflash. The Rayman. He's come through with the goods again. And
what's he done now?
Now, he's actually said that Williamstown Soccer Club have received a free pass into round 3 after Moama Echuca Border Raiders SC forfeited tomorrow's tie.
Wow.
So there you go.
They must be gutted.
Well, the Williamstown players must be gutted. That would have been a great weekend away.
Weekend on the river?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
You know, the weather would have been quite nice. No public holiday on Monday.
That's probably why they forfeited.
Maybe they'll still go up there. What do you reckon? Have a scratch match?
Yeah.
I would if I was there.
Absolutely.
Don't go away, folks. When we return, we're going to have our very, very, very first special guest. He is the senior coach of the George Cross Football Club senior men's team, Eric Vassiliadis. He has been on the show before many, many times, and it'll be great to catch up with Eric. And then this is where we start the George Cross themed part of the show. If you're not a George Cross supporter, if you're not a George Cross member, you're not a George Cross player, stay with us, because it'll still be very, very interesting viewing over the next hour or so.
Hands for Hire is a free platform that connects people looking for more work in their downtime, and also businesses who want to list jobs on a casual basis. Are you finding that you have spare time and could actually be earning extra money? Or do you need a hand on a casual basis and don't want to employ a full-time worker? Hands for Hire is the app to help you fill that time yourself without paying huge fees to recruiting agents or labour hire companies. Signing up is completely free, without any obligation.
Looking for the best in authentic Maltese cuisine? Then you need to dine at Georgies on Vista. Situated in the heart of Fraser Eyes, you can't go wrong when it comes to family dining. We have a menu for mum and dad, one for the kids, and one for seniors. Everyone's taken care of. Don't miss our specialty nights. Tuesday night is Parma night, where you get to choose from not one, but 5 different Parmas. Wednesday night, kids eat free with every paying adult meal. Thursday night is Members Night, where members get the chance to win some great prizes. And Friday night, join us for happy hour between 5:30pm to 7:30pm. Jim, Johnny, Jack and their little brother Schooner are only $5 each. Looking to get an early start Friday afternoon for a punt? Our sports bar with TAB is open from 3pm Friday afternoons. To book your table, email info@georgiesonvista.com.au. Bring the family and come dine at Georgies on Vista, 46 City Vista Court, Fraser Eyes, Plumpton. At Caroline Springs George Cross Football Club, we're looking to grow our family. Memberships are now available. You can choose to be a social member or a full member. Some of the benefits for social members includes a discount on food and drinks at Georgies on Vista, as well as access to member events. Be a member of our Members Night Thursday nights at Georgies on Vista for the chance to win some great prizes. Or become a full member, where you get free entry to all home games, discounts on food and drinks at Georgies on Vista, free function room hire, access to our members' events, and so much more. For more information on how to join as a member, check out our website www.georgecrossfc.com or send an email to info@georgiesonvista.com.au. Come join us at City Vista Pavilion and Sportsfield. Become a part of the Georgies family.
Welcome back to the Football Out West show. You are watching episode 50 of our show. Tonight's episode sponsor, Sunbury Elite Indoor Sports Centre, and our major sponsor for this year and the theme for this week's program is the George Cross Football Club. And Craig, we welcome two of the most handsome devils at the George Cross Football Club. We've got to your right, immediate right, Eric Vasiliadis. He's the captain. He looks very young. He looks like he could play for another season, huh?
Yeah,
no, he's the coach, ladies and gentlemen. And right next to me, he's the player. He's the fit one. It's George Tsiakalakis. Have I said that right, George?
Yeah, close enough.
Close enough. Chakalakis? Tsiakalakis. There you go. I'll get it right before the end of the program. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here.
Pleasure.
Eric, firstly over to you. Mate, what do we say? The pre-season that's lasted around about 18 months.
76 weeks, I think.
76 weeks. Soon coming to an end. The players, indeed, the coaching staff must be itching to be getting back on the field.
Oh, absolutely. The good news for me is I get paid by the week, so it's been 70. That's a joke. Yeah, look, it's realistically, first of all, thanks for having us here, guys,
yeah,
and welcome to our home. I'm looking forward to the show. It's been an unprecedented sort of period over such a long time, and it's tested us in ways that we just haven't been. But full credit goes to our players and to our football club in general, but the players in particular, because they've had to stop and start countless times. Their mindset's been challenged. And, having been a player myself once upon a time, you just want to play football, right? So full credit to our lads. They've worked really hard, and we are definitely super keen to get it started. But we've got a hell of a lot of work to do in the next 2 weeks as well to make sure that round one is where it needs to be.
And how are the boys shaping up after 76 weeks? Don't tell me that you're not unfit. Tell me you're fit. You must be. 76 weeks.
Look, we're not where we want to be from a squad health perspective. We've had unprecedented number of injuries, irrespective of how much we've invested in our backroom staff. We've been very conscious of what we would now call the COVID effect. Mm-hmm. But I reckon it's what we've seen is, if I'm being honest, some of our boys haven't done enough work over that period. It's been quite challenging for them. So there's been a little bit of a shock to the system. So we've had quite a few soft tissue injuries. So it's going to be a battle for us to get the whole squad fit for round one, which has meant we've had to tinker around with the squad. But I think we've done a lot of work around structure and some of the processes, but it's been quite frustrating for us to not get everybody fit. The only consolation for us is we believe it's an industry-wide issue.
I was going to ask that question,
not a George Cross specific one.
Yep.
But the positive in me tells me I don't really care what's happening elsewhere. We've invested in our S&C department, and we just want to make sure we give everybody the chance to get ready for round one.
Yep. George, there must be lots of expectation at a club like this. I mean, you look at the fantastic facilities, the history, the supporters as well. How are the players managing, one, the expectations of the club, the supporters and everything, but their own expectations as well? As Craig said, after 76 weeks, they're itching to get out there. Maybe they're a little bit too eager. How do you, as a captain, manage that, and how do the players themselves manage that?
I think we're pretty lucky. We've got a wealth of experience in the team, and you don't need to look far. Every corner of the change room's got someone who's played at a high level in Victoria and sometimes overseas. So we sort of just draw from each other, and everyone's played at a decent club before, and now it's sort of about teaching everybody about the George Cross way and how we want to support this club and get back to where we need to be.
Yep.
And that's sort of come through even from our pre-season last year. We've done a whole day in Mornington going through what the club means to us and what we need to give back to the club. And I think it's sort of still very alive in our change room.
Yep.
And I've no doubt that the boys know we've got a job ahead of us this year, but I don't think the expectation will outweigh our ability.
Righto. Yep.
I'm pretty confident that, we'll perform.
Now, from a coach's perspective, Eric, does that deviate a little bit from your expectations? Is it a case of we want to win the league or we want to get qualification into the NPL? Do you set certain expectations both for yourself and also for the team as well?
Absolutely. I think when we undertake a project like this football club has done, then it's pretty clear to us that we have a strong aspiration. We don't really set the limit, but we know that promotion is the target.
Yep.
And I think to George's point, we've signed some highly established, experienced players on purpose because we need to build an environment that is used to playing under pressure.
Get us excited. Tell us who are some of these players.
Oh, look, I think the most significant signings for us probably just come from re-signings. So boys that committed last year and amongst all that noise and COVID and some of the lack of supply have said, Eckers, you know what, we believe in the story and we're on board. So Georgie, club captain from the start. If you get that thing right, then it sort of flows through the club. But Ethan Gage, Reece Saunders, Marijan Svitkovic, Johnny Black, a bunch of these boys that have been part of my journey, my time, have said, Eckers, we believe, so we're staying on board. Outside of that, we've recruited some highly credentialed players, and without trying to name them, but I'll give you some ideas. So Joey Franjic from Melbourne Knights is a huge coup for us.
That's a massive coup.
Huge coup.
Experience and
huge coup. Outside of that, Daniel Kaczynski from Geelong Soccer Club, who's a boy that I think is going to really light up the year for us, has come on board as well. So. Look, we're very, very excited about the players we've recruited. If I'm being honest, there's probably still a couple more things up my sleeve because we're not quite there. But we're going to be a strong team and we want to give our community something to be really proud about. And we know to achieve the goal we want, we've got to be really, really strong.
Yeah, I think Daniel Kaczynski signing, I've seen him in action for Geelong when they secured promotion into the NPL, and then he was on the books, I think, of Altona Magic as well, the Canadian sharpshooter. He's going to be lethal if he gets on target this year, and he's going to be a big coup. But Joey Franjic, Marijan Svitkovic, players from the Melbourne Knights who've had that NPL experience. George, how important is it having some of these guys who have played at a high level coming to the club, passing that on to some of the guys that maybe haven't played at that level yet, but are aspiring to play there, hopefully next season?
I think it's a good opportunity, to be honest, for especially young boys to sort of be a fly on the wall and just, absorb everything that gets said in the change room, look at everyone's habits and sort of just take it in and see how, you can look from Mars to Bylesy to Johnny Black to Joey. Everyone's different in their approach. But in the change group, between all of us, sort of combine and work out situations alongside with the coaching staff. So it's really important for the young boys just to sort of take it as a year of learning, and sort of whether they're going to get game time or not. I've been in the position before where sometimes you're going to grow 2 or 3 times more than you would playing in a lower division or just getting by.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, actually, we've got a young lad who's running quite well at the back, Alex Diamond, who's only I think he's not 18 yet.
Yeah, I think he might be 18 or 19. Yeah, he's driving to training.
Yeah. Okay, so he's probably 14 then. But he's a prime example of he's going to learn so much more from having these experienced players that have played the NPL. And whether he plays or whether he doesn't play, he's going to learn so much more, so much quicker than he will playing anywhere else. So,
100%.
You mentioned earlier on you had a trip down to Mornington last year where you sold the George Cross story to the players.
Yeah.
I believe you're playing them again tomorrow.
Mornington.
So is that another long weekend? Getting the new boys familiarising themselves with the George Cross way?
Well, look, we're not doing that this year. We just weren't sure about planning around COVID. But if I'm being honest, we owe a debt of gratitude to Mornington because this time last year we were due to play them, but unfortunately, on the day of the game there was an unfortunate loss of life of somebody. So to some extent, There's a little bit of a testimonial tomorrow, and I think the clubs have got a strong, by definition, a strong connection now. So that's what's happening. It is a long weekend. I know some of the boys are going to go away. George is trying to use my beach house, but I haven't got one, so he'll be sleeping in the street.
Very good. And just some of the players you've obviously lost through this situation. Obviously, John McShane, Chris Oldfield, and Stephen Price. Obviously, Chris Oldfield going off to Magic last week or the week before. How much of a shock was that for you as a coach to lose Chris, because he was only here a fortnight?
Yeah, look, it was disappointing for us because we know how what sort of pedigree he's got. Was it a shock? Not really a surprise, because he's probably the best keeper available outside of the A-League. And Igor did ask for permission. So look, our job is to find solutions. So we wish Chrissy all the best. We lost Pacey because he retired and became Heidelberg's assistant coach. But again, when you're bringing in players like Roddy Cabarubias, Francesco Stella, Tyler James, you've got to replace quality with quality. But we still need a good goalkeeper to help Ryan out as well. So
any good goalkeepers out there? Just mention your details in the comment section.
You've got the air. So,
now, 2 weeks' time, it all kicks off. The big one right here. George Cross, you guys take on Sydenham Park. That should be a big derby. Sydenham Park would have to be, George, one of the contenders for the title, or one of the big, one of your direct competitors, if you like.
Yeah, I'd say, to be honest, everyone in this league's a direct competitor, because as long as we do have our aspirations, but you've seen it in the past, anyone will beat anyone and stuff up anyone's season on any day. Like, that's state one for you.
You've been watching the politicians too much lately. I think that was a very diplomatic answer.
No, it's just the truth. Bottom of the table beats top of the table. It always works. But Sydenham do have a very strong team. We've got some friends that play there, and I guess there's a good 4 or 5 teams in our league that have the same aspirations, and we need to compete every week in, week out.
Who are some of those teams, Eric, in your opinion, the danger teams to watch out for in State 1?
Oh, look, my experience tells me that there's some teams that have made some noise over the off-season, and there's no doubt at the top of that list is Essendon Royals. So they've got Vitali down there, who generally drives a very strong program.
Yep.
So they're the well-documented ones. Sydenham's been trying to get out of this division for a number of years, so they're investing. We expect that. But to George's point, and I agree wholeheartedly, there's always an unexpected contender that pushes. So we're not going to underestimate the teams like Yarraville, Banyul, things that So it's going to be difficult. But we've got the added pressure of being the hunted this year. Let's own that. Let's accept that. Let's get the mindset right and make sure we're just bigger and better and stronger and just get the job done.
I just want to touch on players and recruitment, George, because obviously you're still looking for a cover for Ryan. How hard is it now to try and get the type of player that a club like George Cross needs, given the circumstances of COVID? And we've heard from clubs after clubs that have invested in players from abroad, and quite rightly on some occasions, because the quality of some of the players that are from abroad are certainly far better than they are here in Australia. How hard has it been to try and get, because there's only a small pool of players, correct? And everybody wants a small pool of players. So how hard is it from you as the head coach to go and recruit those players?
Look, it's extremely challenging, because there's a bunch of inputs that go into a player making a decision to come. So we've got a lot of things that we tick. Strong squad. We feel we're going to have a positive year, an incredible facility, a wonderful club, beautiful supporters, tremendous committee driven by Mark. So that's all the positives. The difficulties lie around the financial commitments, because other clubs are quite desperate. The lack of supply around what you're talking about. We can't bring other visas in, so you've got to drive with the pool that you got here. So that is making it very, very challenging for us. And to convince a player to come for a State League 1 project when he's got 3 levels of MPL to choose from, again, becomes a challenge for us. But we back our offering, we back our project, we back our group, and we've managed to get some incredible players at our club, and we're sort of really, really pleased with what we've got.
And does it come back to, you're quite right about obviously players playing the MPL, then drop down to State League 1. Is it the project that you have to sell to those players?
Again, it's a couple of
long
inputs.
term?
There's definitely a project, and we've got a couple of really good ones here. One is we're pushing for promotion because we need to do it. Two, we've got the B League thing that's surrounding that.
Yes, that's another one, yeah.
But it's more around the profile of player that you're going to get. Having coached in the Premier League, I'll go and get the best player out of Melbourne City because he wants to play at the NPL. Difficult for me to go to that profile now and say, come and play State 1. Because the advice they'd be receiving is you must play NPL to further your chances. So I've got to find a profile of player. Someone that wants the project, we can find an agreement, and maybe someone that's worked with us before that trusts us as well. So it's difficult, but we've done very, very well, and I think that's a credit to our football club.
Well, as we said, it all kicks off in 2 weeks' time, 5 p.m. on Saturday, the 20th of March, right here at City Vista Recreation Reserve. Caroline Springs taking on Sydenham Park. A match of the round, might even be match of the season, even though it's the first round of the season. Gentlemen, we wish you all the absolute very best for the season coming ahead, and we're looking forward to seeing State League football returning to the pitches where it belongs.
Thank you, guys, and I wish you well with the show. Well done.
Thank you. Eric Vasiliadis and George Tsiakalakis from Caroline Springs, George Cross. Don't go away, folks. When we return, we're going to be speaking to the sponsorship and marketing manager here at Georgies, Simon Paris.
Looking for a venue for your next event? Our function room at Georgies on Vista is the perfect place for your next special celebration. That special birthday or anniversary, a baptism, communion or confirmation? Whatever the celebration, we can provide a fun and enjoyable atmosphere with great food. Why not hold your next corporate event in our function room? We can seat up to 100 people and can provide you with a professional environment. Whether you're looking to hold a stand-up or sit-down event, we can cater to your needs. We have meal plans and platters for you to choose from. For more information, send an email to info@georgiesonvista.com.au. There's no better place out west to hold your next function than at Georgies on Vista, 46 City Vista Court, Fraser Rise, Plumpton. Looking for the best in authentic Maltese cuisine? Then you need to dine at Georgies on Vista. Situated in the heart of Fraser Rise, you can't go wrong when it comes to family dining. We have a menu for mum and dad, one for the kids, and one for seniors. Everyone's taken care of. Don't miss our specialty nights. Tuesday night is Parma night, where you get to choose from not one, but 5 different Parmas. Wednesday night, kids eat free with every paying adult meal. Thursday night is members night, where members get the chance to win some great prizes. And Friday night, join us for happy hour between 5:30pm to 7:30pm. Jim, Johnny, Jack and their little brother Schooner are only $5 each. Looking to get an early start Friday afternoon for a punt? Our sports bar with TAB is open from 3pm Friday afternoons. To book your table, email info@georgiesonvista.com.au. Bring the family and come dine at Georgies on Vista, 46 City Vista Court, Fraser Rise, Plumpton.
Welcome back to the Football Out West show. It is episode 50, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming to you live from the George Cross Football Club. Georgie's on Vista here in Caroline Springs, and I'll tell you what, look around. It's Friday night. Dinners are going absolutely berserk. I ate about 3 dinners, Craig, earlier tonight, but the smell from the kitchen is making me hungry yet again.
I won't be leaving without having something, Don.
Yeah, and speaking of which, right behind us, very, very shortly, there is going to be an under-18 practice match as well. George Cross taking on Keilor Park. So if you're hovering around the area, you're not doing anything at the moment, do come down because there's lots of action. Speaking of lots of action, our next guest tonight is going to be telling us all about what is happening off the field and from a commercial side of things, and none other than the newly appointed sponsorship and marketing manager, Simon Paris. Simon, welcome to the Football Out West show, mate.
Thank you, Donchi.
Now, mate, it's quite raw, quite new. You've only recently been appointed in that role. 3 weeks, is that right?
Been around 3 weeks now.
Tell me, mate, tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit of your background.
So I grew up playing AFL rules, football. So I was doing that for quite a while.
That's all right, we won't hold that against you.
That's the end of that interview. Yep.
So, spent a lot of my life obviously playing and supporting that. I got to my mid-teens and started playing indoor soccer, futsal.
He saw the light of day,
Yep,
yes.
So I then developed my love for that. And yeah, as time went on, I just continued to follow the sport. When I was around 16, I actually started following George Cross with some of my family members. And I quickly got a love for the club and saw them when they were at that higher level of playing. And as time went on, sort of every now and again would go and see them. And then, as life would work out, I moved to the area and I saw that they were developing something not far from me, which I'm only a minute away from. And when I found out it was going to be George Cross, I was quite excited, very excited. So, that started, and what happened was I actually met my girlfriend, who then explained to me that she's heavily involved with the club and her family. So her dad's Darren Ferrugia, the vice president.
Right, yes.
Her brother is the coach of the Metro team here, who I'm now playing for.
There's no rings there, so we can't say you've married into the club, but not far off.
No, the pressure I've got on me at the moment to actually do that is pretty high. So Mark always stirs me up to.
Well, there's a camera there if you feel like doing anything this evening.
We had a bit of a joke that it was her 30th birthday not too long ago, a couple of weeks, and I was going to pretend I was going to propose to her on her birthday by doing my shoelace, and she wasn't too happy about that concept, so we stuck away from that. But now that I'm taking on this role, it is really making me heavily involved in the fact that I'm here training on a Wednesday. I come after work and on my days off just to do what I need to do to start this role and really get some new sponsors on board to help the club. So
you sound like the perfect candidate to be involved in that. But sponsorship in this day and age of the post-COVID era, when things are really tight, we know that's a lot more difficult than it was even, I guess, pre-COVID. Always was tough, wasn't it? Let's face it. In community football or that level, it was always very hard to attract sponsorship. But now that makes it not only difficult to do, but more crucial than ever.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So tell us what is happening with regards to that.
Well, we've got some current sponsors that were obviously paid up for last year's season prior to the season going ahead. So we're going to be taking on those sponsors for this year to continue on what they've already paid for, because we want to obviously support them for what they've done for us. And then it's finding some new blood for the club. And I think even just doing this for only 3 weeks, I've really tried to explain to these new potential businesses that it's not just about, come on board and we'll take your money and then, good luck, for whatever happens. It's actually, how do we grow their business? Because at the end of the day, we help them grow their business. They're going to then stay with us as a partner and support us again. So, to every single business out there that I'm trying to get and who wants to be involved with this club, I'm doing things that are a little bit different than probably what most clubs do. So I'm going to be having times where they're actually going to be representing themselves coming into the club on a busy night and delivering what their business offers. Brilliant. So it's actually them growing themselves. And I'm going to be supporting that through our Facebook, the website, to help them grow. So, we need as much support as we can. And to your point in terms of how hard it was through the COVID year, it's weird because some businesses really thrived, as you would probably imagine, through COVID. So some are really keen to go, we've done really well in that 12-month period and continuing now through some restrictions. How do we then go, let's go really, really hard and do something like go on board a sponsorship at a sporting club and try to get our business known even more to just continue their growth.
Absolutely. It's that relationship is the key element that you talk about. And it's like that we talked about just prior to you coming on, we talked to the coach and the senior team captain about player recruitment, Craig, and how important it is to not only have a great facility and everything like that, but having that reputation of being a good club with good reputation, relationships, and that, I guess, translates into the commercial corporate sphere as well.
Yeah, it does. In time as we get bigger, people will see who's on board our journey to becoming, one of the biggest clubs in Victoria again. And when other businesses can see, geez, that business is getting involved, that one's getting involved, they know that something's happening. So they're going to want to be on board that train as well. Our junior system is the life of the club as well. They're really strong at the moment. So we want to get their level of, experience up so that, people know that we're a club where we're going to, recruit some really good kids and develop them that they're going to play our senior football one day. So we're trying to get some businesses involved that want to support the junior side of it as well. In turn, as much money as we can bring in is going to help support the senior level to get our whole club promoted. But we need to really look at our junior side as well and really support them in their journey, for them to keep going.
Yeah, and I think that what you just said then about the junior side of it is really key, and I know Mark's a huge believer of that junior side of the football. Yep. So in terms of sponsorship, how can businesses get involved? What do they need to do? How do they contact you for opportunities? We look around tonight, and it's the first time I've been here on a Friday night because we haven't been allowed to travel more than 5Ks, as we all know. But it's fantastic to see a really full bistro here. There's a game going on inside, as Toshi said. It is a good place to be at the moment. So how can people get involved?
So all my details are available on our Facebook page. So jump on board the page and like that. I'm also on the website on the information on who is in the committee and who runs certain things in the club. I've got a link straight to my email if you'd like to contact me. And I'm always around the club. I'm here 3-4 days a week. So definitely if you would like to reach out to potentially get your business on board, I'll be very interested and keen to have a chat with you.
Well, Victor Brinscat, who's one of our regular listeners, has come on and said it's George Cross Junior's 60th anniversary this year. So what a fantastic opportunity there for any potential sponsors to get on board with a great club that certainly wants to look at developing their youngsters and get in contact. And, I just saw your father-in-law step in, mate. I think he's seen you on the screen, and I think your girlfriend's just about to come in as well, mate.
Yeah.
So, no pressure.
Simon, absolute pleasure having you on board. But one thing I really must, from a personal experience, is reiterate how warm and welcoming the club is.
Yeah.
And we know it's a Maltese community-backed club, and the Maltese are such a prominent part of the community and very big, and the history goes on. But it's also so encompassing of the wider community and the immediate community. And you look around, there are people from other clubs as well. A big shout out to Vladimir Zetovic from Melton Phoenix, who's one of our members, and we had the pleasure of actually meeting him in person just before. So there were people here from Keilor Park. I've seen tracksuits from all sorts of different clubs. So it's that warm hospitality that is such a big part of the club here, isn't it?
It's as much as it has deep roots in the Maltese history and community, we're very diverse and multicultural here. So it's really great that we can get definitely the community coming in to have a Friday night dinner and really enjoy this place, not just as a soccer club, but as a bistro and as a place that you can come and start to see your friends and family, as a local place to come. Look, I truly believe that it's not about being at war with other soccer clubs. Like, we're a community as well.
On the field, yes.
So on the field, you definitely have where your heart lies. But we need to work together, in all of Victoria to bond, to grow the sport.
Absolutely.
And I believe that George Cross are massive advocates for that. We had the Maltese Cup here. We had a team coming from New South Wales just to come to be part of that. And I think even that grows. How much we want to be a part of everyone's soccer life, and we've had so many practice matches here. We've got a really strong connection with Preston. Green Gully, as much as they're our adversary in terms of the Maltese clubs, we have a really good connection with them. Like Altonas, we just really want to be part of each other's soccer lives. Which
and extends
really
even further. We heard through Eric Vasiliadis the connection now with Mornington as well. There's a sentimental connection there as well. So it's relationships. That's the key thing, and that's what we're trying to build in this post-COVID era. Almost sounds something like post-apocalyptic era, but it's not quite. No, things are getting better. They are moving in the right direction, and with your appointment as sponsorship and marketing manager, we can certainly see that that's a step in the right direction, continuation of the right direction. So we applaud having you on board as well.
Thank you very much.
Very best of luck with it.
Thank you.
Okay, that was Simon Paris, the marketing and sponsorship manager here at Georgies on Vista, George Cross Football Club. When we return, he's the big kahuna, the man that he's the legend. He's overseen the big transformation of the club from Chaplain Reserve here to Caroline Springs. He's the president, the man that we all love to have a chat and we'll always have a little bit of a laugh with as well. He'll be coming on straight after the break. Mark Sultana, the president of George Cross Football Club. Don't go away.
Are you opening a new business or want to improve your current exposure to drive more customers? Then talk to our team at Principal Signs. We have over 30 years' experience of helping businesses like yours stand out from the crowd. We can design, manufacture and install a range of signs, either permanent or temporary, at an affordable price without compromising on quality. A signage supplier with a reliable reputation. You can trust the team at Principal Signs to ensure that you make the best decision for your business and your budget. We're passionate about giving you a standout experience in customer service and ensure that we exceed your expectations every time. For more information, find us on Facebook or check out our testimonials and work examples on www.principalsigns.com.au or call Ray on 0406 728873 for a quote. Mention this ad for a 10% discount off your first order.
Hands for Hire is a free platform that connects people looking for more work in their downtime and also businesses who want to list jobs on a casual basis. Are you finding that you have spare time and could actually be earning extra money? Or do you need a hand on a casual basis and don't want to employ a full-time worker? Hands for Hire is the app to help you fill that time yourself without paying huge fees to recruiting agents or labour hire companies. Signing up is completely free, without any obligation.
Looking for the best in authentic Maltese cuisine? Then you need to dine at Georgies on Vista. Situated in the heart of Fraser Eyes, you can't go wrong when it comes to family dining. We have a menu for mum and dad, one for the kids, and one for seniors. Everyone's taken care of. Don't miss our specialty nights. Tuesday night is Parma night, where you get to choose from not one, but 5 different Parmas. Wednesday night, kids eat free with every paying adult meal. Thursday night is Members Night, where members get the chance to win some great prizes. And Friday night, join us for happy hour between 5:30pm to 7:30pm. Jim, Johnny, Jack and their little brother Schooner are only $5 each. Looking to get an early start Friday afternoon for a punt? Our sports bar with TAB is open from 3pm Friday afternoons. To book your table, email info@georgiesonvista.com.au. Bring the family and come dine at Georgies on Vista, 46 City Vista Court, Fraser Eyes, Plumpton.
Welcome back to the Football Out West show. It is our Silver Jubilee episode 50 of our iconic weekly program. And I tell you what, mate, Craig, we would not have been able to get to episode 50 if it wasn't for the support of this man in between us, and obviously the club he represents. But George Cross, the football club, have been a tremendous supporter of this show in many, many ways. And for one of those reasons why we've had that support is because of the president, Mark Sultana. Mark, welcome to the show. Great to have you on board.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure, mate, really, to be honest with you. And, yeah, we're very happy to continue our support, mate, to be really honest. It's given us an ability to be able to promote our football club and obviously promote the game. So
absolutely,
yeah.
But after everything that we've had, to have this many people on a Friday night, a game happening here, this is just, I guess, the prelude to the season coming. Listening to Eric and George talking, wow, you know, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about the start of the season. But, you know, we forgot to even really talk about the A-League because all the focus now is on NPL and before too long in the State League. Grassroots football is back in a big way in 2021, eh?
Oh, it is, massively. And, you know, for us, it's being able to showcase what we do as a football club and how we engage with all of our stakeholders and everything that we do together. I mean, the club's come a long way from the heyday that we were, and being able to share this facility with everybody is amazing, and not only with our club members but with the public. And the fact that we can eat and watch games and do all of that's great. And the fact that grassroots football is back, we're very chuffed and very happy, mate. So last week I went and watched the NPL boys again for 2 weeks in a row. All our 4 teams have won, so that's really good. Can't wait for the community clubs to get going. So, and yes, the seniors is obviously a very important part of the club, both women and men. So, we're really enjoying it.
Let's talk about the seniors. Obviously, the senior men kick off in 2 weeks' time. Big game happening on Saturday, 20th of March, 5 p.m. kickoff. Yeah. At the moment, with regards to the current restrictions and what they are, what are we looking at? Obviously, cannot have a capacity crowd, but what is the capacity that we're allowed? 50%?
Yeah, it is. So I would say that we would probably push maybe between 650 to 800, I reckon, because we can spread them out, so that's a good thing. And again, the ability to be able to spread them out, as you can see, is quite important. Being Sydenham, you probably find that probably want to be a bit more than 1,000 people.
Yep.
You never know, but again, I think we can handle up to 1,000 because we can spread them out. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And that must be really, as we said, on the horizon. That's going to be a big night. But the whole season as a whole, and you mentioned the women, they're playing in the Ffa Cup, the women's version, which is the Nike FC Cup. That's going to be awesome for them as well.
Oh, look, I watched the game on Wednesday night, so I spent a half. The men played Preston, and the women played Avondale. And albeit both teams did lose, but again, it's only practice matches. But I think the women were very strong. We only lost 3-1 against Avondale, and their structure's been around for a long time. So, testament to the amount of work that George, Gero and Mark and Rennie are doing there. The men lost 5-4 against Preston, so that was a good night. But we had a huge crowd here, so I had one half with the girls and another half with watching the seniors. So
absolutely. Yeah. Southeast United is the opponent in the qualifying round of the Nike FC Cup. That is away. So hopefully the girls can get over the line, and then in probably round one proper, then even host a home tie. But there could be some big signings with the girls. We won't say too much, but some exciting news in the pipeline, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe next week we have an announcement.
We could. Stay tuned to the George Cross socials, the mediums, because there could be some groundbreaking announcements. But we'll leave it at that. We'll just but apart from that, we've. The juniors have started, obviously the NPL juniors.
Yes, they have.
The seniors are all starting to get ready. The community football is happening.
Yep.
Are we seeing across the board the same numbers as what was expected in 2020? Are the numbers increasing? Are they dropping because of the COVID effect?
We're probably a club that's been very strong in saying that we won't trial anymore. So George and I sat down and formulated a process about how we can retain our footballers within the club, especially our juniors. I mean, they are the foundation of the football club, so it's important that we really understand that. So we had a retention rate of about 96%, and then we topped it up with an expression of interest process, and that sort of worked really well.
And what's the reason for the no trial policy?
Oh, look, to be quite honest, we continually say to these kids that they're not good enough. I mean, that's me. And look, that might be wrong what I'm saying, but I believe in it. I think, when you put yourself on trial, you continually open yourself up to criticism, and I'm not sure that's the right structure for the children, to be quite honest. I think the emotional roller coaster that we all witnessed in the first year that I watched the NPL trials didn't really sit comfortable for me. I think the club as a whole should really be able to retain players and understand what our program is involved.
It's a development, isn't it?
It is.
It's a development. Right. So we go back to what we were talking about earlier on, Tons, about the whole NPL structure of play. Your strongest sides in the NPL shouldn't come into it. It's about the development of the players. So there has to be a 2, 3, 4 year program.
Correct.
To develop those players.
Well, there's when you look from my point of view, being the president, I mean, you've got to be able to create a pathway. And the development process is very much aligned with your pathway. So as much as everyone would love to obviously get promoted, and that's great from a senior point of view, but there's a really strong aspect from my point that I need my team I need my senior group to be promoted, because it really does extend my 16s program. Obviously the Football Victoria gave us the ability to have a 17 squad this year, which meant that I didn't lose my 16s.
Yep. And that's a big thing.
It would be quite shattering for those boys that wouldn't really have a season together. So the fact that they were actually able to push that through, and then obviously change the 13s into a 9v9 program, probably didn't sit that strong with a lot of the parents in 13s. But anyway, it is what it is, and we're working through that. But in saying that, we believe that we're here to develop footballers, and you're also developing a community. And I think whether it's NPL or whether it's just community football, the fact that the club's got two facets that we can then promote is a great thing for everybody, really. So I'm just not really a strong believer in trials. Look, it might be to the detriment to me at some stage. People might criticise me for it, but I think the process is working. Like I said, both 4 teams, NPL teams, won 2 weeks in a row. So we've got a big weekend today. In regards a big weekend this weekend, playing Melbourne Knights and Bendigo. And so, double header, and hopefully we can walk away with another set of victories. So
and the double header that was cancelled
round 2 and 3.
Round 2 and 3.
Yep.
That's coming up in
That's
a couple
coming
of
up
weeks.
in a couple of weeks, yeah. And that was, again, you could see the real pain on the players' faces. It's hard, mate. It's like Lisa and I talk every day, and it's like, here we go again. And the fact that it was only shut down for a small period of time is great.
It was hell.
Yeah, so, but you really see that anguish on the players' faces. And look, I'm heavily involved supporting them. I really do believe that my presidency is really surrounded about the strength of our juniors, and that the foundation of our football club is really promoted, from there, and then obviously you bring them right through to your senior program.
Yeah, as I said to you before, Matt, on a number of occasions, a guy that I used to work for in the professional clubs back in the UK, he said to me, you're not a football club if you haven't got a junior structure.
No.
And it always comes back to, he's absolutely spot on.
We have we're fortunate enough to have a full squad of under-7s.
Yep.
Amazing. And look, we've actually had to cut it. To be able to have a full team of under-7 girls is amazing for the club. I mean, it's testament to the football club from where we were to where we are today.
Yep.
Everyone's invested in us. Everyone's bought in. We all own it. Like I say to everyone, I'm not a president just for the senior group of people. I'm the president for everyone. And I think that it's important that I'm present and I'm here every night. God help my lovely wife, but she's bearing the pain. But anyway, we do have a job to do, and I'm strongly invested in understanding that we can promote the successful part of this football club, and that's everybody involved. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we talk about that, there is that old saying, behind every great man there is a great woman, but behind every great president there's a great team. We've met Eric Vasiliadis tonight, who's a great coach, and he's been here for a few years.
Yeah.
But there's also some great people. You talk about George. So for those of you that don't know, George Gero, he's the club's technical director.
Full-time.
Highly acclaimed,
Absolutely.
highly accredited football coach and coaching educator. Lisa Jurich as well, who's been the general manager. She's been your right-hand person. She's an incredible
woman.
And tell us a bit more about some of the guys behind the scenes. We met Simon Paris earlier tonight.
Yes.
But some of the guys that make up the great team or club that is
It's
George
really
Cross.
interesting because you've got to understand that I'm really not from a football background. So, walking into such an iconic football club, you obviously inherit so many good people. And then you also inherit people that just love to be here continuously and just devote their entire life to it. Me taking on the role as president was to understand that we needed to become quite professional. When they first said to me, we need a TD, my first answer was, what does a TD do? So that was quite remarkable for me because I didn't really quite understand what that technical director meant. And then the fact that it's a formulation of the football process was quite interesting. So I said, how can you do that part-time? I mean, if it's a real asset of the football club, you really need to be able to have that full-time. So again, being fortunate enough to be able to have an income stream like we do where we try and make this club sustainable was to employ George full-time.
Yeah.
Remarkable man. He's just had a baby boy too, which is congratulations, George, and his lovely wife. So, but that was part and parcel of the first, formulating a process how you can then obviously build a football program around a full structured program. The other part of it was having Lisa on board, and obviously that was she was secretary with the previous board. And then I found that it was very important to have somebody full-time to be engaging with obviously council and Western United and so forth, and it was quite important. And look, she's just an amazing girl. She's just, full of strength, very smart, can really isolate herself from what we would call football politics and really understands the importance of having a really strong structure. And then obviously you got Eric, and then you got the captain, George. And then you've got Chivette, who's here every day and is really our eyes and our ears and keeps everything, tidy and makes sure it's safe and locked and
keeps you on your toes and
keeps me on
honest.
my toes. Chivette's been part of the club for many, many a year.
Yeah.
And got Peter Kalki, who's our senior team manager, and he's also been part of the club for a long time. But you've got people that work in the bar and bistro that are employed by the club that have always been involved, and that's Joyce. And there's a number of people that have been involved here for a long time. But look, we engage with everybody, and we have, we talk to everybody. We have meetings with everybody. Look, we're really just here to make our club where it should be, and it's a very strong football club in Victoria. So,
Absolutely.
we have high ambitions, and the only way you can formulate that is to have a lot of good people, buy in, and a lot of them have. So, yeah.
Craig, it seems to me that over the last 3 years that we've been, this is our third year of running the Football Out West show. We've seen the transformation that is George Cross, and moving from Chaplain Reserve here to this wonderful facility here, City Vista Reserve, but also seeing the people being involved behind the scenes. It's just testament to a great club that has got a great history. And we talk about the history. It's 60 years that the juniors have been juniors celebrating this year, and also Victor Brinkat, who's the historian here at the club. He says it's the first George Cross women's team was formed 60 years ago.
Yeah.
Are there any plans to really I guess celebrate that under the current circumstances in 2021? That wonderful achievement.
Again, it's really interesting that even Victor's raised that. Clubs are very, very slow in recognising history. I mean, we all put our photos up and all that, but I don't know, there's not a lot of commentary. Unfortunately, it's only when you sit on a program like this, or you get interviewed by somebody, that you sort of bring up the history of the football club. And it was really interesting to understand where the women's fell within George Cross. There was one team that was formulated, and there was not a lot of talk, and I don't think there's even a photo of them up, which is sad. But we will be celebrating hard. I mean, we're in State 4 and heavily invested in our women's program. We believe that it's a very, very strong part of the football club. Like I said to you, I mentioned that we have a full squad of under sevens, and then you think about the senior men have had this space for a very long time, and I think it's time for change. I think it needs to be done very well. I don't really want to see a process in place where people formulate a women's program because it is the thing to do. I think the fact that we're able to have a full-time TD and that structure falls under George is very important. The importance of making sure that women feel comfortable at the club. I mean, a lot of clubs are dominated by men. We have 2 women on our board, and I think from that, the general celebration is the fact that we're actually able to get it up and going again. So
yeah, and look, the women's game's come such a long way, Mark. If I look back in my days of playing, it was there was some women teams around, but now we just talked about the Night Cup. I think there was a record number of teams in the Night Cup this year. So it just shows you how far women's football has come. And don't forget, next year on 23, we've got the World Cup.
Absolutely,
with the women here.
Yeah.
I'm sure this fantastic facility you've got here will be a venue for a team of sorts.
I think so.
Within
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
I'll be very surprised if it's not. Women's football, and it's actually good to see. If you look at some of the key players now in the Socceroos, they're all making their name in the UK.
Yes,
majority
that's
are
right.
now.
Yeah.
Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City, wherever they're playing in the UK. So the game has now just gone to the next level, and women's football is really important to football.
Yeah.
It's not just a man's game anymore.
No, and they talk about equality. I mean, and that can, that's a difficult conversation because men has dominated this space for a long time. So it takes a massive culture change to really be able to give people history and strength from a women's program. And my job is to make sure that it's sold correctly, and then rather than just saying it, make sure we do it. And I think that's, again, a very strong part of this football club. You've really got to have a buy-in from everybody, and it's important that everybody understands that they are just as important as our senior men's, albeit there is some differences there. But again, we are very strong in making sure that we do give them the ability to play on the main pitch and so forth. So yeah.
Now, Mark, if from a personal level, you've had some great highs, you've had some lows as well. I guess one of those lows was last year, the passing of Ed Gauchi, who was a stalwart of this club, was your right-hand man as a deputy president. But speaking of Ed, how did the committee, how did the club sort of rally together and get over
Oh,
that?
look,
that
and
loss?
it just sends cold shivers down me at the moment because, the reason why I'm here is that Darren Ferrugia and Ed Gauci sat me down and asked me to take on the role. To be quite honest, I didn't think it would encompass my life as much as it has, but I'm enjoying it. I think there's a legacy there for Ed and his family. I think the only reason why this club has the facility that it has is the relationship that Ed had with the council and the fact that he was able to promote us and obviously put through and formulate a great business plan. He was extremely passionate about the club and also about his son playing at the club. And he was a great friend for a lot of us, So, and there is a legacy for us to continue. I mean, we obviously named the function room after Ed. And look, the game against Altona City will be a big game for us. We'll there and we'll, we'll celebrate two lives. Obviously Ed's, and there's obviously a very close member of the Altona City family that passed away during COVID as well. So,
Tony Castle,
yeah, so it's important that, again, and look, we are a Maltese club and we believe in our community, and I think half the reason why Ed, myself and Darren and the board are very invested is to make sure that, we do give the Maltese community an avenue to celebrate great people. And Ed's was a very great man. So.
Absolutely. I guess his legacy will certainly live on, as you said, through the naming of the function room, but I think just the motivation that'll leave with the everyone else to just really carry on some of the great work that he did.
Oh, look, he was just very passionate about, wanting us, one, to get promoted, and secondly, to make sure that everyone respected that George Cross name again. So.
And he would love this, that we're here tonight doing this, because this whenever we spoke to him, it was about doing, and this would be fantastic for him. So.
That game against Altona City is a round 5 game, I think it is. Is it the 17th of April?
Yeah.
And that's going to be here. So I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more about that as we get closer to that big game. So some big home derbies happening here. It should be fantastic. But from a personal level, mate, what else would you like to achieve, whether it be in the short term or the medium term or the long term, as far as your role as president here at the club? Is there something that's really driving you at the moment?
Yeah, there is actually, Tonch, and I think, the fact that, one, we've been able to rebuild our brand, I think, and then on the back of that is B-League. And I'm not going to be quiet about it. I think from a criteria point of view, we're very strong. I think from a structure purpose, we're very strong in terms of how we're a fully 5-star accredited FFA club. So that's important. And I would love to be part of a team that could really build a sustainable B-League, and George Cross be part of that. And
where are we at with that, with regards to that?
Look, I think we're closer than what some people may say. Obviously, I'm part of a committee that is there in support of the AAFC. I think the rhetoric around trying to formulate a process now in terms of being sustainable is important. I don't think that's really that far away, to be quite honest. I think there's a number of passionate clubs involved, but I do think it needs to be criteria-based, so I think there's a little bit of work behind that needs to happen. But in saying that, I think most clubs are very, tied into making sure that we support each other and understand what our criteria are. And you can see Preston's doing a fair bit of work to their facility as well. So you can see there's an upgrade of a number of facilities. And, look, you don't have to have 10,000 people to make it successful, but you do have to have a strong community. And I think a lot of the clubs that are invested in trying to get to B-League are actually understanding that we do have a very strong... And a lot of the clubs involved have currency. And the currency is our community, our facilities, and our buy-in from all our stakeholders. So from a personal point of view, my endeavour is to try and get what's there, and we're doing a lot of work behind the scenes to be able to promote that and be able to support programs like this and really formulate how we could market our club so that we can increase our supporter base.
So does that mean from a club's perspective there, Mark, that the good news is that you're going to be staying on for a few more years?
You heard it right here.
Look, I was
joking, mate.
I wasn't voted in, mate. I was asked to take on a role. I think my next part of it would be I'd have to be voted in. But look, again, I think every strong club has a real good, strong board behind them and a strong balance. So, albeit we're all very invested in making sure that this club becomes strong again. And I think if I can help through that process, you know, we'll see how that goes.
And you look around, I said it earlier on, you look around tonight, you see even in the bistro here, you've got a football match going on behind us. There's a good, healthy supporter there watching the football.
Oh, look, there's a big family buzz, mate. I mean, it's massive.
You just feel it.
You feel it. And I mean, you know, being a president, it's so rewarding. I mean, like I said, I don't have a football background, and you know, you come to a place like this and everyone, hi, hello, and look at the car park. Car park's full and joint's busy with people eating, and there's so much more to a football club. You know what I mean? It's not just football, you know, and I think that's my point of difference as being the president. I mean, I don't like it when I come to the club and they call me boss. I'm not the boss. Do you know what I mean? I'm here to help formulate a process where we can actually grow as people, you know, and this club has been able to give me that, and you can see it. It's a brand new facility, so it would be very amiss of me not to allow this to happen.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, you got to be very smart about things here, guys. I mean, we're very fortunate to have what we have, but we've also got to be able to promote it and use it wisely. So, you know, again, and having Eric on the team he's helped me a lot. I've got to say, to him and Lisa and George have been a very, very, and you know. You look at Darren. Darren's been, you know, he's my vice president. Darren's been at the club many a year. He's also a previous president. But, you know, we talk every day.
Yep.
Every day. I talk to Lisa between 7:30 and 8 o'clock every day. I talk to Eric pretty much after training, and then we catch up every night. We're on the phone from about 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Yep. I talk to George pretty much every second day. And we just understand where we need to land correctly. I go and watch all my NPL games. I go and watch all the games. Like I said, you know, thank God to my lovely wife who's allowed me to do this. But the fact that I'm present, it gives everybody encouragement to succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, one of the purposes of the Football Outwear show is for people to see how other clubs are being run, and then to maybe incorporate that into the running of their own clubs. And if there's a lesson to be taken out of this, is the relationships, how important they are. And the only way you can keep those relationships going is communication. So they're the things that I'm taking out of this.
Yeah.
Anyone out there's listening in, watching this, that are from other clubs, I think this is the things that you need to take back to your clubs to make your club better than it already is. And we've got some great clubs out in the community.
But everything comes back down to people, Tosh.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't matter. You can have
that.
the structures and you can have little bits of thing from everybody, but unless you've got the people involved at any club, and it always is a very small number of people. It's not 20, 30, 40 people. It's always a core string of people. You're never going to be successful.
No.
So everything that you do comes down to people. So if you're going to invest in the right people to suit your venture, your situation that you're in.
Let's be honest. You guys have formulated this program, and to be quite honest, when you asked me to come on this program, or whether George Cross is a sponsorship, and let's not be silly about it. There's no bias. I mean, we sponsor the program because me personally, want to be able to give back to people like yourself that has been giving us a way to be able to promote our football club. It's important that everybody understands I'm a person not from football, so you guys must have thought, who the hell is this bloke? Like, we have not heard of him. We don't know what he comes with. You know, I mean, but the biggest thing that Football Out West program's been giving it for me and for the club is an avenue to be able to say, you know what, we can do this as a group of people. We can formulate a process to be able to promote football clubs. And you know, the fact that, I know I was watching I was looking at the program for tonight, and you know, the fact that you mentioned the NPL boys and all of that kind of stuff, it's so encompassing. It's not just about men's football. It's not just about senior men's football. There's so much out there that can actually change a football club.
Absolutely.
And to highlight what you just said there, Craig, it isn't a small group of people. It can't be a small group of people. You've got to be able to understand that every single person involved is a stakeholder of a football club. Everyone. From everybody. From juniors, parents. And look, as difficult as parents can be, but the fact of the matter is, if you communicate with them, they buy in, and they do help you through that process. But look, you know, we're honoured to be part of it, mate. And again, you know, for us, we'll obviously have another announcement coming through shortly about again, how we'll promote our games. That's going to be another way of being able to be at the forefront of change in terms, at least at state football level, anyway.
Yeah, innovation.
Because that's what I've got to deal with at the moment. We're only in State 1, but albeit I'd like to try and give our fans another way of supporting us. So.
Well, what a positive way to end what has been an absolutely positive experience here from our point of view, but also from, I think, the George Cross members that haven't been here in the club tonight, being able to tune in and just see some of the exciting things that are happening, and indeed everyone else that's tuned in. Mark, all the very, very best for the year ahead.
No, thank you,
Or for the years ahead.
Yeah, well,
for the years ahead. We're not just talking the next 12 months, we're talking about the foreseeable future, but all the very best, sincerely.
Look, before I go, I just want to have a big mention to all of our sponsors.
Absolutely.
As in trying times, they have stuck strong, and it's a massive thank you on behalf of everybody at George Cross and the board. You're nothing without your sponsors as well, and I think it's very important to really promote them heavily, and I've got to say thank you to everybody that has stuck strong with our football club.
Absolutely. On that note, thank you very much to Mark Sultana, the president of the George Cross Football Club, for joining us on our 50th episode of the Football Out West Show.
What a wonderful way to celebrate it.
Absolutely. Good on you.
No worries. Thank you.
Don't go away. When we return, we're going to wrap things up because we have gone a little bit over time.
As we do.
The NPL action is is about to kick off at various grounds around the city. So it is just the start of a weekend feast of football. Don't go away.
Thank you.
Under new management, the Sunbury Elite Indoor Sports Centre is proud to provide the wider Sunbury community with a whole new fresh look and feel. Covering all forms of indoor sports from indoor soccer, cricket, netball, yoga, Pilates, darts, golf, and especially our all-new Sunbury Futsal League, the Sunbury Elite Indoor Sports Centre has something for every sports enthusiast. Young budding footballers who are looking to improve their skills come in and register or trial with Sunbury City Futsal Club, coached by the highly accredited George Dibb. Be a part of one of the fastest growing sports in Australia and become a part of the new futsal pathway by representing Sunbury City Futsal Club at the upcoming Football Victoria Futsal League state titles in April. For a full overview of all that Sunbury Elite Indoor Sports Centre has to offer, please visit our website www.sunburyindoorsports.com.au, like our Facebook page, or call us on 0448 445 406.
Welcome back to the Football Out West Show. It's episode 50. We are deep into extra time. Craig, it's been a wonderful, wonderful experience tonight, being here at Georgies on Vista on a Friday night. Hustle and bustle. Everything's going on. What a way to celebrate our 50th anniversary.
Yeah,
50th show.
Yeah, another great show, Tonch, and a fantastic venue. And look, as Mark said, there's nothing underhanded going on. Marks and George Cross Football Club are the sponsors of this show. However, it's your show. It's not George Cross show. It's not our show. It's your show. So if you want to be part of it and you want us to come to your club or be involved in the show each week, which we're here every Friday, then all you got to do is get in contact with us, and we'll make it happen.
Absolutely. Become a member of the Football Out West Show. Very easy to do. www.patreon.com/Football Out West Show. You're supporting what we're trying to do. And as you can see, we've really come a long way. And it's all about trying to provide you, the viewer, with the absolute best product. We've got one of our members over here, Vladimir Zetovic. He's from the Melton Phoenix. Great to have him on board as well. And we would love to have more and more of these type of members. So on behalf of Craig, Steve, who's been here part of the show, Vladimir, and everyone here at the Caroline Springs George Cross Football Club. Before we go, Craig's got one last thing. He always has to have the last word.
Yeah, no, we must thank Sportscast Australia as well, Tonch, for putting together the production tonight. Big thanks to Cass, who sat there over doing the show for us from behind the screens, and hopefully everybody's enjoyed it. And back next Friday.
Perfect way to end proceedings. Good night, and thank you very much.
Good night.